Welcome to the sideshow. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Okay, this is a response to Lugnuts Garage's open tag going around on your first video on YouTube. Now, this is not my first video on YouTube, but this is my first video on scale models on YouTube. At least according to what YouTube is showing, because I could have sworn I did them before this. But the first video I did on YouTube was my entry for the for a Tom Daniel group build, and it was for this particular vehicle, which I need to repair a little bit, which was my Flying Ace, the Snoopy's counterpart to the Red Baron. It is made out of an old Hangman kit. Has a doghouse that goes on the back. You see the Flying Ace there. Also, you see some nice artwork on the inside, because Snoopy has all sorts of artwork on the inside of his doghouse. So we have the doghouse, which is covering this. This is off of an old Tijuana Taxi, I believe. And then I think the fuel can is out of a Tijuana Taxi also. But in any case, that goes over that. One of the things I always had a problem with the Hangman with was that it does not have a fuel tank. But in any case, the engine is out of an old 1/25th scale AMT 53 Corvette. And then, but the triple carbs are off of the triple carb. The triple carbs came out of the 53 Corvette by Monogram. Front end is all Hangman, as is the body and everything. Now, this was the kit I was going to be building for the group build, but the kits that appeared in that very first video were a Tom Daniel Hangman, and this particular one right here. Gotta lift it up a bit, I guess. There we go. You know, and that was basically straight out of the box, but I turned it into what you would call, I guess, a rat rod, because it was missing a fuel can or fuel tank. You know, it doesn't come with one. Now it's got a beer keg off of an old beer wagon on the back there. I also added a trunk here. I haven't glued it down, but you know, if you're going to be doing all that stuff, you need tools and such. And then I've also added some acetylene and oxygen tanks on the side there of the Hangman. So that was the Hangman kit that was featured in that very first video. And then the other kit that was featured in there was the Dragon Wagon, which is obviously one of my favorite kits. And this was why I also think that I probably had a video before this, because I know somewhere I talked about building this Dragon Wagon. Of course, that might have been in a Facebook group, or it might have been on one of the modeling groups out there. But those two were the kits that were shown because, well, obviously I had not built the Flying Ace yet. That was going to be the build for the group build. Now, one of the questions they had also was, if you don't remember what your first video on YouTube for scale models was, what was your first kit you ever bought? Well, I do know what that was. Now, this is the first kit I ever bought. The first model I ever built was something entirely different. That was the set of like all these Air Force planes by Monogram or something. I can't remember the name of it. Age of Flight or something like that. But here's a picture of what that kit was. Me and my brother got it. I must have been 5 or 6 years old at the time. Talk about glue bombs. And some of those pieces, some of those airplanes in there were just one individual piece that you had to stick on a little stand. And anyway, thankfully that did not survive. But here was the very first kit that I actually bought with my own money. Now, it's not the kit because I have since lost it over time, but this was the first model kit I ever bought myself with my own money. And yeah, it was a Tom Daniel beer wagon. Now, that first build does not look anything like this one did. For one thing, I think all I had was some black paint, so the headers were black, the seats were black. Anything that wasn't yellow or didn't need to be yellow was painted black. I did not paint the little radiator on the side on that kit. I'm sure I did not paint these portions here either. If I would have, it would have been totally messed up. Probably the only thing I painted on there was the seats and the exhaust pipes. Seriously. It was a really fun kit back then, and as you can tell, I still like the Tom Daniel kits. He's my, when it comes to I know all he does is basically scale models, but when it comes to the show rods and stuff, Tom Daniel just knocks it out of the park for me. I really like the ones that he does, especially when he's building them off of a Model T frame or something of that nature. So yeah, I had a lot of them, and I still like to buy them and build them. And you'll see more Tom Daniel kits in the future because, well, those are the ones I really like. Now, for a little bit of a change of pace, let me show you the oldest surviving kit that I still have. And so I believe this is my oldest surviving model kit that has been built. I have a few that are probably still in the box that might be older, but I don't know for certain. But I believe this is my oldest surviving model kit. It was back when I was building a lot of military kits, and it's and I really had a thing about the Long Range Desert Group. This is the LRDG truck. This was the second one I built. The first one I built took a dive off of a table, and that meant I had plenty of spare parts, especially wheels and such. And so this has 3 spare tires, 4 spare, yeah, 3 spare tires, no, 4 spare tires. I think the kit only came with 5. The kit has these notorious splits in the tires that always end up showing up. Added plenty of extra tools on here. Got the swan neck for the Lewis gun. It got a this is supposed to be a Vickers, but I believe it's actually a Maxim gun. But anyway, that's on the back there, and I don't think you can see it. No, not even if I am big in the screen, you can't see it. But one of the bags here, this one has my name on it, says Gibson on it, and the front one here actually says Higgins, which kind of tells you when this was made, because it's back when Magnum PI was on, and I thought it would be cool to, it's just kind of a joke. Let's put Higgins' name on there, like Higgins was a member of the LRDG at one time. And then you got a bunch of Verlinden boxes inside there, just a bunch of net in the back there. Added a beard to the driver, gave him a black hat. At one time I had several other characters outside. This was actually part of a diorama, but that has long since fallen apart and everything. But built up the sides a little higher with some wood slats. I don't know. It was a fun build, and that was one of the first or the oldest surviving kits in my collection that is still built and hasn't quite fallen apart yet. I think I got a couple other that are about the same age but have been rebuilt a couple times too. But in any case, there you have it. That's going to be my response to your first kit on YouTube. Your first kit featured on a YouTube video, and also kind of a stand-in for the very first kit I ever bought myself and built myself. With that said, I will let you go. I guess this was a little bit longer and a little bit more than what the open tag was asking for, but I always get diverted and have to add something to an open tag. So forgive me. Sorry for not sticking to the rules.
Thank you for visiting Toby's Sideshow of Scale Styrene. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leaving a comment. Share it with your friends, and please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up online. Thanks again for visiting, and see you soon.